Today, I had the rare privilege of meeting one of my former students, a great friend of mine and a theologian, the Reverend Meshach Meli. And he indulged me on a theological subject matter that he sought my clarification, especially with the devastating floods that have been catastrophic in the nation, destroying lives, wreaking havoc, and causing a lot of untold miseries. The question that he sought for me to ponder and answer is why the existence of evil, and if there is a good and a powerful God. I reminded him of Systematic Theology 1, and especially the topic of theodicy. Theodicy is the explanation that we theists are distinguished from people who are called deists. Deists believe that God created the world and left it to run on its own course, like a watch, that God is not involved. Whereas panentheists believe that God and nature are inextricably intertwined. Pantheism believes that God is in everything and everything is God. The distinction between God and nature is absent. Whereas panentheism believes that God is in everything, but not everything is God. Most of the Hinduists are pantheists, but we as Christians are theists. Theists believe that God created the world, God is distinct from the world, yet he runs and superintends the affairs of this world. Therefore, the question that we pose and ponder as theologians is the existence of an omnibenevolent God, a God who is good yet powerful, and also a moral being that allows such devastation as floods, famine, and all sorts of evil. Even sometimes he allows massacres and genocides. And how do we explain such to human beings who possess faith? That's why theologians came with the concept of theodicy, to explain and stir hope in the prevalence of evil. I must assert from the onset that I believe that God is omnipotent, is all-powerful, is omniscient, he knows everything. Nothing catches him by surprise, including the drought and even the El Nino rains. He knew. And God is also morally responsible. If such is true, then why does the prevalence of evil and the destruction of nature exist? There are two kinds of evil. Number one, there is what we call the natural evil, caused by nature. And this was brought about by the fall. And we can say there is this concept that is called the free will theodicy, due to the freedom that man was given. And this freedom made man to err and fall into sin. Among the consequences of the fall is the destruction of nature. And the destruction of nature necessitated that there was devastation everywhere. That's why there is floods. It's called natural evil. The evil that exists outside nature, the evil that exists caused by nature, and this evil was caused by man's free will. And that's what is called natural evil. We can say because of the fallen nature, that's why evil is there. There is a second explanation of the moral evil, where a person decides to shoot, to rape, to injure, and to maim. It's called free will theodicy can explain. because man was given a free will. And since man was given a free will, he can make choices. And due to his fallen nature, more often than not, he chooses evil. A man by the name of Irenaeus, one of the theologians, and a bishop and a missionary, had the soul-making concept of theodicy, that God did not create the world complete, and he left man to explore and find some things out on his own. And it is on this very concept that we have a soul-making concept, soul-making theodicy. There are many other kinds of theodicy, but I believe none makes the correct interpretation. I assert that we should affirm the integrated concept of theodicy. And in the interpreted concept of theodicy, we affirm that in some things comes out of man's free will. Certain things happen because God is sovereign, and he allows certain things to happen because of his own divine sovereignty, his plan, and his will. And his wisdom is beyond our understanding. Lastly, some of the suffering, God allows it so that it can build our faith and make us to depend upon him. And we say that in all things God works together for good, for those who love him and for those who are called according to his purpose. This theodicy embraces the reality that certain things happen because God is sovereign and he allows them to happen. And we cannot know why. Some things are beyond our scope. The things that are revealed to us, 1 Chronicles 29:29 belongs to us. No, Deuteronomy 29:29. The things that have been revealed belongs to us. But the things that have not been revealed belongs to God's secret counsel and his sovereignty. Therefore, some things we might not understand. And we must understand that in this integrated theodicy, we know that some things happen because of our own choice, the destruction of nature, the cutting of trees, and even plowing to the shores of the riverbanks that triggers landslide. Certain things happen because of our free will. Some things God allows so that our faith can be built. The case of Job. God allows evil, sometimes to better our souls. And sometimes we must understand that God uses pain to teach us to depend upon him and to rely on him. And let's remember that God is sovereign. And history is the story of the sovereignty of God, ordering human affairs towards the goal in which he has destined them for. Let's remember that in all things, God works together for good. We might not understand this, but by faith we trust in him. And at the passage of time, and in the fullness of time, certain things will come to realization. Our understanding as human beings is limited, but God is sovereign and he understands everything. Now I hope to have shed some light on theodicy, and I pray that we'll depend on God in everything that we do and say. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.